Hey everyone, it's Colin here from ironsTechnologyblog.com, and I have a quick unboxing and walkthrough of the hardware of the new Sony Xperia XA2 and the Xperia L2. Both are going to live in slightly different markets. They're both really kind of mid-tier phones, but one is a little bit higher up that mid-tier than the other one. So stay tuned to see how they perform. Welcome back. So this is the retail packaging of the Xperia L2 and the Xperia XA2. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to unbox these two devices right now. I'm going to take you around the devices, have a look at the hardware, see what sticks out, and we'll see where we go from there. So let's have a look at the L2 first. So this, as I say, is the retail packaging. So, you know, pretty typical Sony packaging. So we'll just set the phone down for a moment and have a look in the box. We've got instructions and we've got a USB cable, Type C. I'll be able to see that there. And a charging plug. So nothing particularly exciting. So I'll just put that aside. So onto the phone. So this is a 5.5 inch display. It comes in colors black and gold. This is obviously the black one. On the back you've got just kind of a, I believe it's a plastic kind of cover by the feel of it. But you can see Sony's design now has been to slightly trim down the top and bottom bezels, and that has greatly improved the overall look of their devices, as you'll see in the XA2's case very shortly. So it also seems to come over to the edges a little bit more on this particular device. Both devices are actually very reminiscent of Nokia's Lumia kind of shape of devices when they were out. So that's, you know, that's not a bad thing at all. So let's have a look at the front here. So we've got our front-facing camera, which is an 8 megapixel, 120 degree super wide angle lens. So you're going to fit lots of people. In the frame there. On the rear we have a 13 megapixel with an ISO up to 3200 for photos and videos, and a 3-time clear image zoom, as Sony calls it. So that's your 13 megapixel. You got your flash, you got your fingerprint sensor on the back, Sony branding. On the bottom we have a speaker, we have a USB Type C and a microphone there. On the right hand side, volume keys, power, and on the left we just have our, might be able to see it there, but there's a SIM tray port just there. This is, as I said, the 5.5 inch. It comes with a MediaTek MT6737T quad-core processor, 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal memory. So not too bad there, 3 gig of RAM. 32 is a little bit small. Would have been nice if it was a little bit more, but you can obviously put it in a micro SD card up to 256 gigabytes. 3300 milliamp battery. So pretty typical for batteries these days, but Sony are very good on their battery life, and I'll come back to that more on the XA2. Bluetooth 4.2 on this. Would have been nice to have the latest 5. The XA2 has the 5, but not the L2, and it has NFC as well. So pretty typical looking device, very nice, good weight. And much better kind of screen ratio than in past Sony devices. Again, kind of low to mid-tier device. Okay, so on to the Xperia XA2, and this is again a mid-tier phone, but as I said previously, it's kind of higher up that tier. So let's go through the unboxing. So again, set the phone aside. probably going to be much the same. Yeah, USB cable and a charger. So again, nothing extraordinary there. The device then itself, as you can see, is a much different kind of device. The bezels go all the way around to the edges, and the top stops at about there and the bottom stops at about there. So a much better screen overall than what we would previously see in a Sony device in terms of screen ratios. So it comes in silver, black and blue, and you can get style covers and stuff like that, so you know there's pretty good accessories for it. So just having a walk around, you've got the front 8 megapixel camera, again 120 degree super wide angle lens there on the front. It's a 1 to 4 inch Exmor OR for mobile sensor in that, so that's good. On the rear we've got a 23 megapixel camera and a 1 to 2.3 inch Exmor ORS sensor on that, with a hybrid autofocus. It's got low light up to ISO 12800 or 12800, 84 inch wide angle f2.0 lens and a 5 times clear image zoom. You can record 4K in this and 120 frames per second slow motion video. So not the slowest slow motion video on phones these days, but you know, it's still pretty good. No HDR 4K video, unlike its upcoming flagship device from Sony that's coming out shortly. So 5.2 inch display, it's 1080p, so nothing that's going to drain the battery too much on this one. It's got really good audio, this one. So you've got speakers just on the bottom, but it is quite loud, having used it previously before. USB C on the bottom, real headphone jack on the top, volume rockers, power on the right, and again a port here for your micro SD and SIM card, fingerprint sensor on the back. So as I said though, the key kind of selling point of this device here is the curved edges around the side, and again it's a similar kind of style to the other one. It's a little bit more refined, this one. You can even stand them straight up like this, which is kind of nifty. I know a lot of people who like that feature in a phone, to be able to just stand them on their desk like that. So that's the XA2, and it's definitely the nicer looking of the two phones. Its performance is going to be better than the L2 because this one, for example, has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 630 processor, still the same 3 gig of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage, which again, I know I said previously, but 32 is becoming the real minimum that you should want to see in a phone these days, because the Android system itself could take up about 20 gigabytes by the time everything is installed and up to date. So really 64 should be the new minimum, if you ask me. Again, 3300 milliamp battery. Sony's kind of battery technology has always been really good, and they've always been very good in terms of lasting throughout a whole day. I've never really had any problems with Sony devices. They seem to do it better, even though their batteries are not necessarily the biggest. So it's got quick charging technology built in. It's got adaptive charging. You can get a battery case for it. It's got Bluetooth 5.0, fingerprint sensor, as I said, in the back, and NFC. So it's pretty well spec'd up. How they perform in real life after some sustained use is for our next review video of this Xperia L2 and Xperia A2. So stay tuned for them in the coming week, and if you liked this video, please don't be afraid to hit a thumbs up down the bottom. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down, and if you want to subscribe to us, just hit the little button that's going to appear just here. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned to IrelandsTechnologyBlog.com.